12 away from 7. Good to have you with us on eNCA. I'm Gareth Edwards. Remy Kloos reaching new heights, literally and twice, summiting Mount Everest, and then, as one does for good measure, decided to go and walk up and climb up Mount Lhotse as well, just down the road from Everest. All of that, though, within 24 hours. Obviously, I'm being a bit flippant. It is quite an achievement. The first South African to complete back-to-back double summits. And would you believe me as she joins us now? Morning, Remy. Good to have you with us. Thanks so much for agreeing to the interview. You'd never think you've climbed two of the world's highest mountains. It looks like you haven't even broken a sweat over the past few weeks. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling so good, Gareth. I get that comment quite often, even I think a few days after summiting Everest and Lhotse, which is the highest and fourth highest mountains in the world back to back. I came down, I was looking pretty decent, no burns, no battle wounds, just this feeling of immense gratitude for allowing, for the mountains allowing me this opportunity.
We're going to talk about that moment where you summited Everest and then Lhotse in a moment. But before we get there, Remy, I have an obvious question. I'm sure you get this a lot. Why? It's one thing to go up Everest. If somebody does that just once in their life, that is quite something. Some people tend to go back for more. But why do both of them, and why do this in the first place?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. So I like to set myself big goals, but no South African has ever completed this double summit. And mountaineering has been a sport that's been dominated by men for decades and decades. So I really wanted to step up and level up and represent, the women of South Africa to do this incredible feat and make an impact in that way. And as soon as one steps up and starts representing South Africa, it was very important for me to also make a significant impact on our country. And so also then, on a side note, I started my Just Climb initiative to raise funds to build Children's Community Center in Hillbrow. And so it was very multifaceted as to the reason why I wanted to achieve such a big goal, and really just wanted to make South Africa proud and represent the mountaineering community in that way.
And I see on one of the pictures, I know you might not see it on your screen, but viewers looking at you holding up a yellow flag. Is it pronounced Tlalane? Is that the banner that I'm seeing there? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, it's called Tlala Nje, which means just play in Zulu. And yeah, I started my Just Climb initiative a few years ago to build those community centers in Hillbrow.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about that initiative maybe later in the year, Remy, as well. So which was more difficult? And I say this respectfully, of course, Everest, 8,848 meters. That's a record on its own, of course, to get up there. Then you throw Lhotse into this. So which of the two was tougher, or is it difficult to tell because the one you climbed after summiting the other?
Well, some people do say that Lhotse's harder. It's more technical and way more steep. I made a post on my Instagram recently that kind of highlighted the steepness of Lhotse, and people were flabbergasted because once you descend Everest, you get this incredible, magnificent view of the greatness of Lhotse, and you can see how steep she is. So I have incredible photos, and coming down Everest and looking at Lhotse and being like, I got to climb that one later is definitely something mentally to work through, but they were just so beautiful, and it's just one mountain at a time. They both offer unique experiences as well as different difficulties.
And so when you were walking down and coming down and descending Everest, most people would have been very happy with that. Come back down towards base camp, spend a few days there, celebrate, just make sure that everything physically is okay. You didn't have that option. As you're walking down, you're probably eyeing out your route to get up Lhotse as well. So how did that work? You just came down Everest and just kept going. Is that essentially how this happened?
Yeah, okay, I summited Everest, came down, we rested a bit at South Col, which is at 8,000 meters. Our tents were still set up. And then after that, proceeded down the mountain, and then the path to Lhotse links up, and then continue summiting up.
Training-wise, I want to still talk to you about what's next for Remy. So just tell me briefly, how in the world did you train for something like this? Nothing in the world can prepare you for Everest, obviously.
Yeah, it is years of training and getting the right technical experience, which is super important. Coming from South Africa, we don't have snow, we don't have the ideal training ground. So it's just climbing the other peaks around the world, getting the experience, familiarizing yourself with altitude. That's first and foremost absolutely paramount before even considering to climb Everest. And then after that, it's like endurance training, cycling, hiking, running, absolutely everything. Yoga. For me, I just find sport this powerful platform to have fun and to really just push your body to the extremes. And for me, it was just important to mix it up and just enjoy the process along the way.
And I can imagine there's going to be people now trying to find you on social media, Remy. What is next? Because part of me would imagine, considering what you've done, you hold this record, double summit. People are going to want you, I'm sure, if they haven't already asked you, they're going to ask you, Remy, I want you to take me to Everest. I want you to take me to Lhotse and train them up and guide them. Is this possibly another career avenue for you? Could that be something in your future?
Yeah, 100%. I do help organize and lead expeditions to Kilimanjaro as well as Everest Base Camp. But also what's next for me from a career point of view is I also do public speaking and workshops and coaching, which is something I'm very, very passionate about. I mean, part of my history, which is all over my website as well as my social media, is I've come from a past of anxiety and depression. And that's kind of how I found the mountains. And the mountains transformed my life in such a huge way. It's been about a 5-year journey of intense sacrifices, as well as this mission of self-discovery and exploration. And at any point in your life, you can have a crazy, bold, big dream and decide to chase it. And so often in life, we let anxieties and fears hold us back. But for me now, the pain of not even trying far outweighs the setbacks and the failures. Because let me tell you, Gareth, like, this celebrating these summits right now is absolutely incredible, but there have been so many sacrifices and failures and setbacks along the way, and it's in those moments where our truest grit and courage and resilience is actually portrayed. For me, the courage and the resilience to summit mountains, that's a gift. I'm in my flow. That's my happy place. But it's the years of hard work and sacrifices where, that kind of deserves even more celebration. And I think we often in a culture that forgets to celebrate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if someone goes and follows you on Instagram, I found you on Instagram Reels. It just came up as part of mountaineering that I was looking at. And I think you make it look easy. Let's not forget those photos on Instagram on the top of Everest, all the hard work that's gone into that. It's not just for the gram, of course. But Remy, thank you so much. Congratulations. I'll be following your career and your next move very, very closely. Just incredible. Remy Kloos, mountaineer, double summit, Everest and Lhotse, and it looks like she hasn't even left the country. What an incredible achievement. You can go and find her on social media. She has some beautiful